Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In today's video, what we're going to be going over is how to open the door using the new enhanced input system, which was released in Unreal Engine 5.1. So this won't work in Unreal Engine versions before this, and my other videos won't work in versions after that. The basics of it will still work, you'll just need to change the little bits of input which I'm going to be covering in today's video. So if you want to use a more advanced door system, which I've done before, you can merge the input with this with the rest of that video. But basically, I'll hit play, you know what we're going over by now. We're going to go up to the door, press E, it'll open, we can press E and it will close again. This is all we're doing, just a very basic, simple door, but using the new enhanced input system. So let me just delete this code and I'll show you how I've done it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to actually create our inputs. So this is again different now. What we're going to do is go control space to go to our content browser. And for me, it's third person input actions. And now we have our input actions. If you don't have a folder like this, don't worry, you can then just create one or just put it wherever you want. And we're going to right click, go to input, and then create an input action. And I'm going to name this one IA_interact for input action interact like so, opening it up straight away. Now in here, we don't need to change anything. We can leave this all by default. So we'll save that and close it. Now we're going to go back to our content browser, go to our input folder, and then go to IMC default. If you don't have this, don't worry, you can right click, go to input, and then create an input mapping context. We're going to open this, and then what we want to do is add a mapping. So hit the plus mapping, and this mapping is going to be the input action we just created. So for me, that is IA interact here, like so. Then what we're going to do is press this little keyboard icon to then select the key we want, and I want it to be E. So when I press E, it's going to fire off this input action for interacting. And that's perfect for me. And again, we don't need to change anything else in here. So we can save this and then close it like so. And what we're going to do next is we want to create a blueprint interface. So we can use the input action we just created to then fire off the interact interface to then interact with a door, making it nice and efficient. So we'll go back to our content browser. I'm just going to do this in content folder. Right click, go to blueprints, and then create a blueprint interface, naming this simply interact interface like so, opening it up straight away. All I'm going to do in here is name this function interact, and again that's it. This is a read-only blueprint. We do not need to do anything else in here, so we can compile, save, and close that like so. Then going on to open up our character blueprint, as that is where we're going to actually do our interaction code. So again, content browser, third person, blueprints, BP, third person character. Now in here, what we want to do is make sure we're actually setting the input mapping context to be used. If you've done what I've done, where you've just used the default stuff that came with the third person project, perfect, you don't need to do anything. However, if you haven't, so you made it yourself, you will just need to do this bit of code here. So on begin play, you want to cast a player controller, get the enhanced input local player subsystem, make sure it's valid, and then add our mapping context on there. If you didn't quite catch that, pause the video, replay it, or go watch my other video where I go over that more in depth. This video is mainly made for people who have already got that part set up and want to then just do an interaction with the door, but I assume everybody will already have this working perfectly. So once we've got all this set up, what we want to do is right click and search for interact. Now what we should see is we have input, enhanced action events, IA interact here, and we're going to get this one here. Now this event obviously looks a little bit different to what it did before in the older versions. All we need to worry about is just using started. So started is essentially pressed in the old version. So we're going to come out of started, and what we're going to do is get a for each loop with break like so. The array going into this wants to be get overlapping actors, and the class filter for this wants to be actor. So what we're doing is when we press our interact button, we're going to just check all of the actors we're currently overlapping, for example our door. We're going to go through all of those, and those are going to spit out the array element. We're going to come out of this, and we want to get a does implement interface. The interface being our interact interface we created earlier. So what we're doing is we're just checking to see if what we're trying to interact with, we can actually interact with. So because again, we're checking if this is true or false, we want to hold down B, left click to get a branch, with that return value being the condition, and the branch going into loop body there. If it's false, that means we can't interact with it, so we don't want to do anything. So we won't do anything. That will then end this iteration of the loop, and it will go through into the next array element if there is any. If there's not, it will just end. if this is true, what we want to do is we want to actually interact with this. So we're going to come out of array element and then just get simply interact. And we want this interact message here. That will go into true of the branch, and out of this we're going to go into break of the for each loop with break, so we then stop searching through what we're overlapping, so we're only going to interact with one thing at once. And what this is also going to do is the interact function here is going to call that blueprint interface interact for this specific array element here. So whatever actor we're overlapping, we're going to interact with that actor. So I hope that makes sense. We'll compile, save that, and that's all we need to do for the interaction code. Now what we need to do is just set up our door and actually opening and closing it. So we'll close this, and then we'll go back to our content browser, content, and we're going to right click, create a blueprint class, creating an actor, and I'm going to name this one door BP, opening it up like so. This is going to be a very basic and simple door, so we're going to add a static mesh like so, and I'm going to be adding in the door from the starter content, so SM door like so. That's all I'm going to do in here. I'm not going to have a door frame, I'm not going to have any walls, I'm not having anything, just this door. What I'm also going to do is add in a box collision, however, so we can actually be overlapping this door so we can interact with it as we just set up in our player blueprint code. So let me just put this in the middle and then scale it up to the size I want. So again, the player has to be within this box collision in order to interact with the door. So I think this size is going to be perfectly fine for me. Just make sure you pick a size which works for you. So we'll compile, save that, and then we'll go over to the event graph to start doing this code. So let's delete these 3 nodes as we're not going to need them. But what we are going to do is we're going to need the interact event from our blueprint interface. So we're going to go to class settings, and this is now changed. It used to be implement interfaces, but now it is inherited interfaces. We're going to press add, and then search for interact interface, adding in the one we created earlier, and now you'll notice on the left under interfaces, we have our interact function or our event here. So we'll double click this, and we now have event interact. So again, when that function or this event, is called in the player blueprint, it's going to fire off this event here, which will obviously open and close our door, working perfectly. So out of this, we're going to get a flip-flop. So it's going to toggle between the values of A and B alternatively. So when it first goes in, it'll be A. When it goes in again, it'll be B, and so on and so forth. Out of A, what we're going to do is add a timeline. I'm just going to name this open/close door timeline, like so. A going into play, B going into reverse. Because opening a door is going one way, closing a door is just reversing that. So we don't need 2 separate animations, we can just reverse the opening animation for closing it. So that's why we're going to play in reverse here. If we double click this timeline, we can open it up. I'm going to set the length to 1 second. This can be however long you want, it's just how long you want it to take to open the door. And then we're going to add in a track, adding in a float track, and I'm going to name this one door track, like so. Right clicking on this track to add key to curve float, time of 0, value also of 0. Right click, add key to curve float with a time of your maximum length, which for me is 1, and a value also of 1. The value doesn't want to be the same as your time, it just wants to be 1 regardless of what your time is. So we have something which looks a little bit like this. We'll compile, save that, close the timeline to go back to the event graph here. And now you'll notice on our timeline we have this float value here of our door track. What we want to do with this is right click and get a lerp, make sure it's under float, and the alpha is going to be that door track. So again, the door track is going to go between the values of 0 and 1, which means our alpha will be 0 and 1, which will go between the values of A and B, A being 0, B being 1. So it's going to smoothly go between those values. A is going to be our closed value, B will be our open value. So if we go to the viewport, what we can do is we can see if we select our door, the Z value is what we want to change because that's the value that will change when opening and closing, as you can see here. So closed is obviously going to be 0, and our open position, which I want to be that, is minus 110. So those are values I'm using. A is 0, B is minus 110, working perfectly like this. Now we just want to be able to change between these values, but also actually have that change the rotation of the door. So that's very simple. We can get a static mesh here, drag out of this, and set relative rotation. Relative because we only want to change it in the blueprint, not in the world. And we're going to right click new rotation, split the structure pin, the return value going into new rotation Z, and the execution going into update of the timeline. So every time this timeline updates, it's going to be updating the rotation of the door. We will compile and save that, and that should now be working perfectly for us. We can close this, drag it into our level, and then hit play to test it out and see if this is working. So let's hit play, we'll go up to it, press E, and it has worked, and press E to close it again. I've got 2 in the level for some reason. It's doing a weird glitch again because I've got the other one in there. It's still for some reason referenced, but you'll notice this is the one I've just got here to the right. We can interact with that and open and close it perfectly like so. Again, this other door is a weird glitch in 5.1. We won't worry about that. We've got this one here. But as you can see, this is working perfectly for us. So I think that'll be it for this video. So we've done everything we want to do. What we've done is we've set up this interaction system in which if I'm over here, I can't interact with it. But if I go up to the door, we can open and close the door, interacting with it perfectly like so, using the new enhanced input system released with Unreal Engine 5.1. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.